Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Discuss Detroit. I'm your host, Jeanette Pierce with the City Institute. We're so excited today to be welcoming a longtime friend, Zana Smith of Spectacles, which is one of the oldest businesses downtown Detroit. But she is so much more than that, and I can't wait to talk with her today and for everyone to get to know her a little bit more. Hi, Zana. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jeanette. Thanks for having me.
I was thinking about when we met, and I'm sure you don't remember because you meet so many people, but I do remember it would have been 2003 when I moved in above your store. So 18 years ago, which is also
You lived in the
mind-boggling.
building.
Yes, I moved in. I was on the corner. I was right there, 201, first, just literally right above your shop. And in April of 2003, I moved there from the east side. I grew up on the east side, and moved downtown. And there weren't all the lofts and stuff. There was that there is today, but there were the lofts. But there were like the original lofts where you just throw up some drywall, and those were the fun times, right? Like, uh,
We're very courageous.
yeah, no, I mean it was great. There was a lot going on, and I was like, oh, look at this awesome store. And I loved getting. I frequently got my sunglasses, which I would lose a lot or break a lot. So then luckily I had this great store that had awesome sunglasses that weren't so super expensive, because that was also nice. So that when if I lost them, I didn't feel absolutely
Mhm.
horrible. So that was when, but you've been around so much longer than 18 years. And so why don't you tell us your origin story? Where'd you grow up? How did you get to being a store owner?
Okay. Well, first off, I'm a native Detroiter, and I grew up in Detroit on the west side. And it just seems like I've always had some type of a store. Even when I was a kid, I had my wagon. I would have it full of different things, like greeting cards or flower seeds. I was selling morning glory flower seeds, and I would just take it around to the neighborhood businesses like beauty salons and barbershops, and I was cute. They would just buy
That's good.
things from me.
That's
So
good.
I got hooked.
Yeah, the entrepreneurial spirit early, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a personality style, right? That makes you want to
Yeah,
get out there and do stuff. And you need it to be an entrepreneur too.
yeah, and I like having more money at the end of the day. So that was a trait, I guess, I got from my family, because a lot of them were entrepreneurs coming up. So I had them as an example. After that, in college, I would have some things in my dorm room to sell, so I would still, have money to eat on Sunday. And, it just
Yeah.
became a habit, and people kind of knew me for, doing a store and having products that they needed before they even knew that they wanted it. So I have kind of like a knack for doing that, and
Anticipating the
so
needs, anticipating the needs of the clients. Yeah. Know
right,
before they
right.
know. Yeah.
I I know you asked me about my first store, which was on Dexter and Richton, um, Junior's Jazz Room. That's where I, first, I guess that was my first store, and I just love that store so much. I just got hooked. Well, see, the thing is, we were right by a bus stop, and I could see people by the bus stop, and I would have music playing outside, and I would put on, that certain jam that they wanted to hear, and bring them into the store. And then it was my job to just put on another record and another record, and then especially if they were having a party that weekend. And I hate to admit, but those were 45s I was playing for them.
So I'm showing a picture right now of this was the first. Was this the store on
Yeah,
Dexter?
that was Junior's Jazz Room. That was the picture, I guess, was a little later, but it was in 1971. That picture was taken in 1973.
Wow.
But um, I
And so
really had fun in that store.
Yeah. So that, and it obviously it was a music store. So that's awesome. And amazing. And like you said, bringing people in from the bus stop. There's another, and this is just on your Facebook page. I'm just showing some of these photos. Was this the same?
Yeah, that's the same store. You know, we had our sidewalk sign. We would have a broadcast from the store of Nat Morris and Ray Henderson from WGPR. They would come and broadcast right outside the store. It was fun. It was fun, when you're that young, 'cause I don't know, I was might have been 19 or 20
Wow.
back then.
So what, I mean, wow, yeah, opening a storefront then. It's also just to show people, because we can, Dexter and Rickton over here on the near west side. And that was that, so what neighbor, was that around where you grew up then too?
Yeah, I went to Central High School.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to Durfee, which was my junior high school.
Which
So that
now
was
they're doing all sorts
off
of stuff.
Goodwood.
Yeah, they're doing, have you been over there? Do you know about what they're doing with Durfee? It's called the Durfee Innovation Society, and they are renovating the building, or they renovated it, and it's a beautiful building, but they are having small businesses and community nonprofits and events, and making it like a Uber community center at the Durfee Innovation, and calling it the Durfee Innovation. Isn't that
Oh
interesting?
no, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Didn't
Um,
that you always so full of information? I love it.
Hey, can you,
Yeah.
scooch a little so we can see your face there, your lovely face. But that's awesome. So yeah, Durfee Central, like right there. And then where you said you went in college, you were also selling stuff. Where did you go to college?
I went to Ferris State College, got an associate's degree, and then I went to Clark in Atlanta,
Okay.
and I got my bachelor's at Wayne State.
Woot woot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you left. I think it's always interesting and important, a lot, if possible, to leave a little bit and then to see what else is out there, but then to come back and be able to, make things happen in your own backyard, right?
I think so. I think so. I had fun in Atlanta, but I don't know. They were speaking another language to me.
Yeah.
I had to get back to my people in Detroit. So I came back to Detroit and I opened up Junior's Jazz Room in 71. And then I had another store called Zana on the Avenue of Fashion on 7 Mile Road.
Yeah.
And that was in 74. Wow. And after that, I opened up Spectacles in 84. But in between those two stores, I gave parties, those parties that I'm so famous for with Ken Collier, right behind the Pontchartrain Hotel. So I was just trying to do parties and have a business close to the water. So it was the closer to the water, the better.
Nice.
So my whole thing was live, work, and play in downtown Detroit.
Wow. Yeah. So did you live downtown at that point too?
Well, soon after, I lived at the Millinger Center for about 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that because we would get, this was before they built the people mover, and we would get free passes, when you.
Yeah, it opened in 85. Yeah, the Millinger Center opened in 85. We have friends that lived there too at that time. That was posh too, man. And the views, yeah.
And and they had that clubhouse. I got to give a fireworks party on the roof.
That is
So
the best
really,
viewing for fireworks. We had I don't know if you knew Jane Everhart, but she was
yeah.
on so she's was like an aunt to me, and she was on the 32nd floor and had the big patio, and that was the fireworks party. That, I mean, I would leave the official parade company fireworks party, be like, I got a better view over here, because it was the only place you could be up high and outside like that, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. So talk these parties, and so music. So you're 19, you open a music shop with records. So you all this entrepreneurship stuff in your head, and small business, and side hustles, but also music was a big part of everything that you were doing. Kind of how did that happen, and talk about the music side of Zana?
Well, I've always given parties, even when I was a kid, I would have parties because, um, my dad had kind of like an after hours place. So there was a bar, pool table. So I would have these parties at my house in the basement, waistline parties. It would be like gate, late, plate, we would rhyme something up, or we would measure your waistline and then you would have to pay 10 cents an inch or something like that. But I mean, that was when I was a kid, so it's like giving parties was just something I naturally did.
Yeah.
And when I met Ken Collier, I was having a party at my house over on Glendale, and he just came over and just blew up my whole sound system, and everybody just really enjoyed it, because back then we had those little, not really video games, but we had the little ping pong that you could play. So
Mhm.
we set up little game rooms and had X-rated videos. I won't mention in the attic. And so, we just tried to have a real good time, kind of like the Little Rascals in a way,
Yeah. A
but
little
we
clubhouse. Yeah.
put things together and just have a fun. That was back in the early 80s. And then we looked for a downtown location, which was right behind the Pontchartrain. Uh, and upstairs was L'Esprit, which was Henry Ford's girlfriend's nightclub. And below it was the downstairs pub. So they only had one entrance into the building. Either you went to L'Esprit or you went downstairs. So when you go in the entrance, people don't know if you're going upstairs or downstairs. So we were downstairs, and we did that for about 2.5 years. And that went very, very well. I knew it was going well when people start, um, scalping our free passes.
Yeah. Well, that's like, was that by like the Pontchartrain wine cellar then? Like the building and like where the Foundation Hotel, near the Foundation Hotel today.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was right on the corner of Shelby and I think that,
Larned.
or is that Congress?
If it's right behind
Right
the
behind.
Pontchartrain, then yeah. Yeah, then Larned, yeah. Um so and then Adriel told me this, and this is something that I didn't know in the years that that I've known you, is that you were instrumental in in kind of teaching the what are now known as the founders of techno a little bit about music as when they were young. Tell us a little bit about that. Or talking with Derek May and those guys.
Oh, those guys, I tell you. They used to really, really, follow Ken Collier. So I think he did more teaching than I did. I
Mhm.
think I might have taught them more about the business side and removing a lot of fear to give your own events and parties, because, I was an example for them. And oftentimes they would um, mimic the things that I would do. I'm not trying to, just pat myself on the back, but they they didn't have a lot of examples. And
Yeah.
so I served as an example of how you could open up a business and stay open and give parties and just have fun. Sometimes being a map location for these parties late night. When you're young, you're more daring than ever. So we just would do whatever.
And that was the early mid 80s, right? I mean, then these parties, the whole point, and music is such an important part of these parties. Like, that's, I think, the important to call out there, right? Like, it's parties are
The
parties,
Music Institute.
right? The Music Institute, so I mean, all these things that now are like it being studied in music school, right? And people writing papers on things on what was basically your life, just in Detroit in the 80s.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's so interesting, because I did an interview at 8 o'clock this morning. I'm constantly getting called to talk about the 80s and the 90s. It was a great time. And
Yeah.
they had the whole poetry thing too
Yes.
at Cafe Mahogany and Poor Me Cafe. So and having the store and doing Tuesday night events at Queens, doing Fridays, we did Fridays at Hunter House, events in the park. It's just been great. Downtown, we had the opportunity to do things in the David Whitney lobby, and it was raining in there. A lot of times we would have events in some of these old buildings. Remember in 1217, you had to jump up a step to because it was a whole step missing.
Right.
Yeah. So
And so a lot has changed in so you, first of all, you've been in this location in downtown since 84.
Since 1984, 37 years.
In the Hemeter building, which was built in 1911. Sorry, this is my Detroit. I just can't help it. But also I lived in that building again. So I was like, look that up, designed by Richard Raceman, who did a lot of the buildings in the Harmony Park area. And so let's actually go and show folks where that is today. So we'll put in spectacles. And this is on East Grand River. And it's funny, is growing up as an East Sider, I didn't know Grand River existed because it doesn't exist on the East Side except for these 2 blocks that you are. So again, here's downtown, everybody. And we're going to zoom in here. And then I thought it was really funny because I ended up living on East Grand River in 2 addresses. I lived in 2003 in this building right here where Spectacles is. And then I moved the following year to the Merchants building next door. And that had yeah, I was there on the 7th floor with Lisa for.
You knew Miss Primo.
What?
Miss Primo.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, it was, again, there weren't all, and the manual elevator, right? Like that's in that building, which still is there. And then I eventually moved down Grand River to Trolley Plaza. And finally, that was the first time I was ever on the West Side. And I felt like it was so far away. So this was 2005. I moved to, 16 years ago to Trolley Plaza when it was still Trolley Plaza, right? And I remember thinking, I'm moving so far away from everything because there was just, this is you were a genius to locate here. I mean, it's literally, and you didn't even realize that there'd be Comerica Park and Ford Field and, Greektown Casino. I mean, could you have ever even imagined that all of these things would be here? And so we go on the street, we can actually go and see Spectacles right today in the Hemeter building. And one of the things that's really cool, and so it's right here, is we can go back in time. So check this out. Well, let's go all the way back to 2007. So this is, the building had needed some TLC for sure. And we had, yeah, this is what's fun about the virtual tours is we can just walk around the street in these during these times. So here's,
that is wonderful.
Spectacles, and then we can see, it's a little better in 2011 here. And I love that. Who did this piece on
that? Was Shades did that mural.
Okay. See, so art, music, I mean, everybody who's anything in art and music is connected to Spectacles in some way, and Zana really in some way. And then there was that whole drama where the building got bought, right? And everyone, and then they were going to kick you out, and then but you somehow convinced them to let you stay. And you can see the changes, and then when they renovated the building, and then this is, just a few months ago.
How do you do that, Jeanette?
Yeah, so this is Google Street View. So, and if you go to, you can,
and you can look at different years.
Yeah, from any Google Street View that they have. See, look over here in the corner, it says Street View, and then you just click on that, and it'll show you the different ones. And it's so neat because all around the city, you can imagine, like, like if we go down the street, and you can see, like by Queens, for example, you know, you want to go see when it was, you know, we all remember it being the Viegas Gallery, right?
Right.
I mean, and you can, I mean, it's so fun for especially us folks who've been around a little bit, because it's literally like we can, you know, 2007, let's go walk down the street. What did, you know, what was going on here, and who was where, and what was, you know, there's no Z Garage, right?
Right.
Normally I'm sitting there in an in-person tour and I'm saying like, now you have
This
to
is
imagine this was just a parking lot, right? And then boom,
wow.
boom, right? You can just see it happen. I mean, it's really neat. So we've done that a lot with our virtual tours. And we can also then use the slide deck where we show photos, or like go to, you know, how we showed some of your photos. But anyway, so this is right around the corner. If everybody, you know, like you've walked by Spectacles, people watching this, I'm sure a bunch of times. It's right here. Harmony Park is the little park that's really great. And there is Spectacles today. So talk to us a little bit about what, you know, the changes over the last 30 years. And now I feel like there's all this support, or I know that there's all this support for small businesses and entrepreneurs and startups. Have you been able to, you know, as a longtime business, tap into any of the new energy that's all of a sudden like, oh, hey, we should help small businesses?
Well, I can just tell you that just because of the climate right now, that people are definitely trying to be supportive. Um, our sales, I don't want to, our sales increased in 2020, actually,
Great to hear.
even after being closed for 3 months.
Wow.
People, they showed up. It might have been some of the stimulus money that they received. Um, some people just wanted to treat themselves to something nice. And it might sometimes be the products that you carry, or the exclusivity of the product that you carry.
Yeah.
You know, that might keep the customers coming back. So we've been very fortunate.
And you have online, people can buy online too, from,
that's true.
They always have been able to, which
right. So that's helped. I've done more shipping than I've ever done before. Although, you know, I do need to upgrade and do a better job with upgrading, and, you know, constantly bringing in the new products, getting the new products posted on the website.
Right. Well, that's one of those things that I think there are some resources like via Techtown or some other organizations that are working to help longtime businesses basically get some more on the tech side or website of stuff. So we can talk about that offline, or I can send you some resources because it's a heavy lift. I mean, people ask us all the time too, oh, more online stuff. And it's, you know, it's not our skill set, right? I mean, you have a lot of skill sets. I have a lot of skill sets.
You sure
Technology,
do.
then web stuff is not one of them. And it's not going to be, right? Like, I mean, at this point. So
Isn't that
but I
something?
just know that people, you know, like you're a destination shop. People would, you know, when they would come for movement, every year they would wait to come for movement, but they would also want to go to your shop to get things because of, you know, the unique
The
stuff that you
association.
carry. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like the idea that you'd have someone like Derek May playing out of your 400 square foot space, right? It's, you know, over the years at different points is, and when I explain that to people, that's just Detroit, that you have just amazing people doing stuff kind of all over, but also that we take it for granted as a city, I think too, right?
We do take our talent for granted because we have so much of it. You know, and good music, we get it all the time. We take that for granted.
Yep.
And Detroit do a good job.
Yeah.
They do a good job of presenting themselves to the public. You know, I've gone to some really sloppy things in New York, and I'm like, people in Detroit wouldn't stand for this. You know, we put forth that effort because we are a small town, and we all know one another. So
right. It's that community and connection. Absolutely. We talk about that all the time. So do you want to show us around the store a little bit? I will say my favorite mask, if we're talking COVID changes, is you have at your store that Kamisi, Benford and Black Folk Apparel make, and it's the mask with the city of or the spirit of Detroit on it, the What Up Doe masks. So
Yeah, that one is really nice.
Yeah.
Kamisi used to work here years and years ago.
And I used to work with Kamisi at United Way when I lived in the building. I worked at United Way from 2004 to 2008 and worked with Kamisi there. So see, small world connection.
Yeah, I'm trying to take the, I'll just start right here. What we have here, you see.
Well, and the name, really quick, as you go around the store, the name Spectacles, like it is, yeah, you have some sunglasses and stuff, but that it wasn't about that. What was the name? Where did the name come from?
Well, we were selling to entertainers who were on stage, different bands, like the Winans had a band, Norma Jean Bell and Orthea Barnes. So we would sell to entertainers, and we felt like they were on stage making a spectacle of themselves. But we started with really expensive eyewear, so it had a twofold meaning.
Yeah,
it was about the eyewear and the fact that they were stars on stage.
Nice, love it. All right.
So what we have in the window is our king outfit that I'm showing you the back of. Mm-hmm. But over here, I'll show you the front of it. This is, it's kind of difficult, because I'm looking at a little square. Right. But that's the
oh yeah,
the hoodie with the matching hat.
And tell us about, is that like about, I'm not hip on the clothing stuff. I am a black t-shirt and jeans kind of person. This is a
brand that we have an exclusive on.
Okay.
And it's here. We've been carrying it for about 5 years. But what you want to do is bring in a brand, and then you break the brand, and people clamor for the brand, and they start making requests about different products that they want to get from King. So our relationships with this company has allowed us to be a staple with them, and we introduced them to America.
So where they tell us a little bit about.
They're from London, England.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't mention that. Yeah, they're from London, England. So that's been a real good product for us. I'm trying to show you these wooden bracelets. This is something that's really reasonable. Like $4.
That's one of the things I love, is that you have any price point, so many different price points in the store, which I think is important as well. And such a variety of items. So you have the clothes, the apparel, you also have some books, some music still, right?
Yeah, we have vinyl, and we have books. And, I was trying to show you these books here.
Oh, yeah.
Sister Soldier and Barack Obama. We have Michelle Obama's book. And we have coffee table books. Lots of hats.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, it's a small space, but you do so much with it. And you got the remodel recently. Was that a pain? Was that a positive thing? Was that a little bit of both?
Well, it was a pain because we had to close down and we had to take everything out of the store, but I'm glad it happened, because we needed a facelift.
Yeah.
So this is the face mask, I think, that you were asking, that Kamisi did.
Yeah.
I think you can see it.
Kind of a little bit. I should have brought mine down, but I don't. The one place I don't have face masks in my house is in my basement office.
Oh.
But yeah. So I know we could talk forever too. This
has been a good one.
Yeah.
Chadwick.
Yep. That was
So
such
we
a
always have
huge-
icon t-shirts.
And then the Detroit Soul, that's your kind of, that's like, I feel like
Yeah, that's
your
kind of like,
design, right?
yeah, that's kind of like something we always have is our Detroit Soul shirts. I think you can see them. I'm trying to show them to you.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
there they
Yeah,
go.
yeah. 'Cause I have a nice comfy hoodie with that, but I definitely need a new t-shirt. But yeah, that's kind of the staple shirt. I feel
Yeah,
like
then
it's always there.
we have our varsity tee that says Spectacles 313.
Nice.
So
Awesome. Well, I'm so
try
glad
to,
that it's been that, COVID hasn't that, again, not that it's been an upside, but that you've weathered the storm and even thrived through it. Yep, what up, Doe? There's nothing more Detroit than that, right? And is
right.
that like, because you design some stuff, just like the Detroit Soul, or do you have, and you work with local designers? That What Up Doe is a local designer, right?
Well, he lives in Texas, but he did
Okay.
the What Up Doe. He
Yeah.
was just so infatuated with the whole, that's Detroit, that's Detroit. So I didn't personally design that. But I try to work with as many local designers as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And they, it's hard sometimes. Some of them, the real, I don't want to say the real artists, but like some artists, they don't do t-shirts. They don't do t-shirts. That's not what they do.
Right.
And you couldn't get them to do a t-shirt. And then the person that does the t-shirt may not want to continue on with the designing of t-shirts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not an easy thing to find someone that is business minded and
Artist at the same time.
and artist at the
So any advice you'd give to, someone wanting to start a store today, or entrepreneurs, or someone that's been in a while but is kind of tired of it at this point?
Don't do it.
What? You said don't do
Don't
it?
do it. Right now, if you just look at the way things are, things are different now. People are shopping online. And if you see a Tubby's or Subway inside a gas station, they're doing those for economic reasons. There's a reason why Subway is now in your gas station, because they want to save on that real estate. There's a reason why people are working from home, So I don't know if now would be the time to start a business.
A brick and
It's
mortar.
different for me because I'm established.
Yeah.
And I've been in the same location for 37 years, so people can find me. But to move people to action is not an easy thing to do unless you got real deep pockets, and you've got to advertise and you got to get press.
Right. Well, and a brick and mortar, jumping right into brick and mortar, isn't always the best thing either. Like even the ones that maybe have been successful in recent years didn't start with just signing a lease, right? And that's where, like, with Build Institute and some of the small business classes, I love their line, which is start somewhere, not everywhere, but you can do pop-ups, you can do online, and then if you're growing and, it's being successful, and then maybe it makes sense.
And it makes sense.
Get to a brick and mortar space. But like you said, you can also do so much without brick and mortars and pop-ups. I mean, obviously COVID, put a big halt to events that, where you could do that, but we're starting to get back up in that, the All Things Detroit. And Jennifer is doing some, going to be doing stuff in Beacon Park.
We do
summer.
spectacles too, we try to do as many as possible, we do charge a small fee for people to come in, but it's a very small fee.
Yeah.
And, we tell them they can just have the whole floor, from
great.
4 to 7, or,
Yeah. See, collaboration, helping other small businesses, helping other people. Like that is the theme that just comes up again and again, whether that's through music or through, small businesses and just the community, is such a theme that we see again and again. So I know we could chat forever, and maybe we can do another one sometime. But I always like to end with asking you, what's your call to action? What do you want people to do? Besides, I'll actually put out there, go to Spectacles, buy stuff, go online, buy stuff, spread the word. But are there anything specific or what do you want people to, if they are watching this right now or listening to it, what do you want them to go out and do?
Well, I think we just got to be kind to one another. It's okay to be polite, and to, all that road rage and all that kind of stuff is, what's your hurry? We've got to slow down and start loving on one another, which is going to take us a long way. And being honest, it's so very difficult to just find someone that wants to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
We need to work on working on people working.
Yeah, the COVID, has made
it's been very difficult. A lot of people are just kicking back right now.
Well, and it's, and then maybe there's kids within school and not in school has been really difficult. And I think that has, like, if everyone reevaluated that, I was able to, for example, go for long walks with my kids, that I wouldn't have maybe had time before, and that I realized was both healthy for me physically and mentally, and that I want to keep doing that. So I got to figure out a way to, keep doing that. If there's a way that we can take a breath and we can make sure that we love on ourselves as well as love on each other. But I also recognize it can be difficult for small businesses right now. So, but I just want to say, I'm so glad that you have just survived and thrived for these 37 years in this space. And I am glad to know you, glad to have you downtown. And I'm excited to see whatever you're working on next too. And maybe we'll see you because when I was saying before we started recording about when you would be having some music and some parties at Queens. And so wherever the next place that you're going to end up is, hey, the music hall's got that outdoor amphitheater that they're setting
Isn't
up.
that fabulous?
Yeah. So maybe
it's fabulous over there.
Maybe you could do something, on the off nights or something, or do it, not even off nights, but and also, let me know next time you're gonna, give me the scoop on where all the best music is. I'll go wherever you tell me to.
Okay, we have like a little cheat sheet that we hand out to, and we let people take pictures of our favorite spots around Detroit.
Oh, that's awesome.
People get a kick out of that.
Yeah, inside scoop. Well, a mini movement's coming up. They're doing or micro, they're calling it, where they're having little things all around the city. Is there anything that have you seen any of those or anything you're looking forward to?
Well, I noticed that at the music hall they're doing something in September with movement. The only thing I know about is like tonight at TV, Al Esther is there every Wednesday.
Okay, that's
after work.
Okay,
so that's a real up-tempo, exciting event, and it's outdoors on the patio.
Well, and like that's the thing of having that consistency every Wednesday. When people would ask like, where do you go for this? Or even if there's always a place that you can always go, and it hasn't been always consistent, right? And but occasionally you get the ones, whether it's coffee at Northern Lights, when they were doing that, like on Tuesdays, and then the Funk Brother, and then or Wednesdays at TV Lounge, and hopefully we'll get back.
Are they going to do any more funk nights?
Yeah, we'll see. I think there's obviously a pent up demand after everyone's been not doing stuff for a lot, but we also got to be safe when we do it. It's definitely interesting times.
And okay, well, thank you so much for having me, Jeanette.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you soon. I'll be probably walking around with the kids. I may need to pop in there and get a couple things myself. And And let us
Well, you
know.
should just bring them by anyway, so I can, have a photo op with them.
Yes, absolutely. I will do that. And I love walking downtown that's what's nice about living in Lafayette Park is we can walk as lots of different places very easily. So, all right. I appreciate you. You have a great day. Thank you, everybody. Make sure that you follow City Institute on Instagram and Facebook and all the places, as well as Spectacles.
Can I give you my web address?
Yes, give us the website.
It's specdet.com.
specdet.com.
Right.
Awesome. And we'll link it to all the links as we post this and everything as well. So
thank you.
All right. You have a great day. We'll talk soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.